welcome to my channel. My name is Cristina and I come to you from Lisbon, Portugal. I'm going to start with the 1001 book, what's the tag name? Book 1001 books tag, which was created by Sandy at Miss Reads a Lot, and she kindly tagged me to do this. So I haven't prepared, so I'm sorry. 1001 lists. Do you follow any book lists? It can be prize lists or challenge like the Rory Gilmore challenge. I remember that I once copied the list of Rory Gilmore challenge because it was an interesting list, mainly classics, which is what I prefer, but I don't follow any list really. 1001 books. Approximately how many physical books do you currently own? How many ebooks? So although I got rid of more than half of my books, unfortunately, but I needed when I moved, still I have many books. I'm not going to count them. My books are not all grouped, as I see lots of people have shelves of books with everything in it. I don't. I'm looking at them, so that's why I'm looking away. I have some books that I remember that I filmed once, which are, if you want, my literature books. But then I have lots of books about teaching and working as a teacher and the subject matter of what I teach. Then I have another place in the house where I have tons of cooking books and other stuff like practical books, let's say. And I don't know, I have some other groups of books, and then I have an immensely collection of knitting books. So my two loves together, knitting and books, and together I love knitting books, and I have several hundred. So of course some thousands here in the house now. How many ebooks? Oh, thousands as well. And audiobooks, thousands as well. So I'm a hoarder of books, even though, as I said, I gave away more than half of them. How many books have you read in your lifetime? Again, I cannot say. I can say, I think I more or less have a list of books that I read this year, and I know that, let me check, I had in my Goodreads, I normally write that reading challenge just to know then how many books I read. So this year I have read until now 114 books. I had given myself the goal of 104, which would be 2 per week, and I read 114. And it's been like that in the last few years, more or less around this number of books. I think that last year I read some more, but anyway, when I was young, I started reading when I was 4. I really wanted to read according to my mother, and I taught myself to read. And then I immediately started reading lots of books. I once was told by my doctor, my eye doctor, that I had ruined my eyesight because of that, because I would spend the whole day reading books. I remember that once I read 4 books in one day. Enid Blyton books. I was a fan. I still am, actually. But I read, so I read many books. I was always reading when I was a kid, and then I'm still quite a reader, I would say. So, but I cannot count them. I feel sorry that I haven't kept track of the books I read. I would like to have a list of that. Now, since I am in Goodreads, I try to, as soon as I finish a book, I try to put it there as a finished book. Arabian Nights, oh, I forgot. I wanted to bring here my books, the Arabian Night books I have here. I have already shown one. Well, I'm going to get it because it's a collection that I think it's worthwhile seeing. A moment. So I went and fetched my Arabian Nights books, but here they are. So, ouch. They are 6 volumes, and ouch, they are quite heavy. They are 6 volumes because they are, let me see, Portuguese translation, but I think that it was translated from the English language, and all the translators are known Portuguese writers. The great majority, or many of them, are already dead. And also, it is a book illustrated by several known artists as well. So, and this was one of my first the books I bought, and I loved it because they have every detail of the 1001 Nights. So for example, here I opened it, this is the 6 volumes, and I say that this is the 990 night. So every 100,001 breaks, they have it here, and so it's a complete unabridged edition, and it's a thick paper, lots and lots of pictures. Some are like this, black and white, some are colored images, and this is the edition I read. These are the that I found out when I was a kid, that had some shocking pornographic things that I didn't know it had, but that's how I found out when I was reading. I thought it was a child's book, and it's not. So, but it's an amazing edition, and I love it. I love it. It's perhaps one of the oldest books I have with me. Okay, so I don't know which story is my favorite. I liked when the those stories where when the, what was it called, sheriff, I don't know, when he went in disguise and would walk in the amidst the population in disguise, but I don't remember. I haven't read it for a long time. Have you read a... Sorry, I'm skipping as always. 100,000 Flavors. Do you have a favorite food or flavor? So, when I was young, I hated to eat. Hated to eat. My mother says that if they didn't force me, I would die of hunger. I would be the exception for the rule that no one dies of hunger, because babies will always ask for food. I wouldn't. Never. I hated to eat. And then I started enjoying food a little bit more, but I had, and I think that maybe, because I still remember when I was young, the effects food had on me, and I never felt very well after eating. So nowadays I know that I have what they call food intolerances. So I like to eat, but there's lots of stuff that I cannot eat, and so it's something that I eat to live, but I don't enjoy much food. But of course, there are things that I like. And the other day I was thinking about this question actually when I was watching some other people talking about their favorites. And I think that I like butter a lot. And for me, butter makes everything better. So, butter, it's my favorite thing. Um, when 1001 pages. Have you read a book that is over 1001 pages? I've read some long books, and this year I read War and Peace, which in my edition is over 1200 pages. So, yes, I did. 101, no, 1001 buckets. Do you have a non-bookish bucket list? I think that when I was young, I always liked lists. So I'm a list maker. And I've had some. I don't know what I did with them. So not presently, I don't. But as many people said, I would like to travel more. Although I tend to go, or I tend to think of the places I already know because I like them so much. Like, for example, London. I always loved London. And I'm always, when I think of traveling, the first place I think is London. We shall see. I have a new planner already for 2022. And I feel that I'm in a list-making mood. So, who knows? 1001 numbers. Do you have a lucky number? Is there a story behind it? I don't have a lucky number because I don't I never gamble, but I have a number I like a lot, which is 12. And of course that I must be influenced by my Judo-Christian tradition of the 12 apostles and the 12 tribes of Israel. I don't know. But there are 12 months and 12 hours of the day, 12 hours of the night, and it's the perfect number because it's divided by 6 and by 4 and by 3 and by 2 and by... It's 10 is a mess. I'm forever finding the 3.33333 division of, and which I hate. I think that the duodecimal system was much better than the decimal system because things would be much easier. So 12 is my favorite number. And then, of course, I'm always thinking of, even when I'm knitting, I don't have it, well, have it over there, but even when I'm knitting, I'm knitting the cuff of a sock, and, well, 12 rows. Or then, if I think that 12 for that sock, it's not enough, 18 then. So I try to always use numbers that are multiple or a subdivision of 12. Anyway, do you have a favorite author or genre? Well, I normally say that Jane Austen is my favorite. I like Jane Austen a lot. I read her books constantly, but I also have other authors that I like, and I'm always discovering new ones. Normally they are classic authors. So for example, last year I've discovered Trollope, and this year I read his Chronicles of Barsetshire. I plan to read the Palliser books next year. I love him. I like Dickens a lot. I like, again, I tend to like the classics until mid 20th century. A favorite outdoor activity? I walk normally. Well, not lately because I broke my ankle, but well, I'm trying to get back to walking. But I was never an outdoorsy person because I had lots of allergies, pollen allergies. I always felt itchy when I was around nature. So I do like nature, but I had those problems. So I nowadays I walk. I walk a lot normally. I try to walk at least the 10,000 steps daily. I'm now getting back to it. Not yet there, but I'm trying to move more after my 1 year of complete rest. 1001 book clubs, not a prompt, but a question for the comments. Should I start a 1001 book club with a book of a month for a read along? Yes, why not? Oh, friends to tag. These people must have been already tagged, but I'm going to tag them anyway because I don't remember those who have been tagged. So I will tag Roz at Skydending about the books, Tom at Tom LA Books. I was going to tag the bookish Bryants, but they have been tagged already. So Noah from Everyone Who Reads Must Converse, Christy Lewis, Kate Howe. I'm trying to find 10+1, but Stephanie as Miss Reads a Lot, the guys at the Codex Cantina, Leslie at Nerdy Narrative, and whoever. Aaron has already done it, but Jordan. Who else? I was thinking of someone else that I normally watch and I forgot. But the problem is that I am one of the last people doing this, so I think that all these have already done it. I don't know. Jim as reading books, etc., or books reading, etc. I don't. No, not etc. And stuff, etc. is my channel. Okay, I'm being very confused here, so I'm going to stop because I'd like to record other videos now. So see you next time.